Blessed Uprising family, greetings from the Culture Corner. Today we're here, episode 5 of the Blessed Love podcast. Talk about the 7 chakras intertwined with a movie called Avatar: The Last Airbender. And so it was a movie and it was a cartoon series as well. I never heard of the cartoon series, but I heard of The Last Airbender, the movie, but I never seen it. And so the other night I was laying in bed on TikTok, and so of course it comes up, the 7 chakras simply explained in Avatar: The Last Airbender. So the TikTok went through the whole 7 chakras, and I lay there and I was just like, well, dang, that ain't. To me, it was really plain as day. Even though it's kind of like, I've read on the chakras and done journaling, and I think I know what I know about the chakras. Still, when I saw that TikTok, I was like, well, why nobody said that? Just the explanation of them to me.
Clearer.
Yes, clearer, and then it's like, well, I don't even think I did it right. You know what I'm saying? Or completely, I should say. I don't want to say I thought I was doing something, but I kind of felt like, well, I thought I was doing something. And so that in turn made me go watch the movie. And so, what am I handy dandy stick? Because again, not on Netflix, not on YouTube. It wasn't on Amazon Prime. The movie, anyway. You could see I think the cartoon series on YouTube. But it was like season 1, 20 episodes. I was like, shoot, I ain't got but one night. Because it was last night. So I said, okay, go back to the stick and find the movie. But so the boy on was the airbender, but he was actually like the one, just like Neo, just like the guy in the Celestine prophecy. There's always the one, and he was an airbender, and then the story from that perspective was the 4 elements: earth, fire, water, air. And they had tribes across the world, and at one point they lived in harmony. And the Avatar, which was him and his lineage, the avatars before him, their job was to keep the balance on earth. And so in the movie, when he realized that he was the Avatar, because he was with some monks with a whole bunch of other young kids, and they realized that he was the one, and they asked him, well, you gotta be responsible for the world now. He ran away. And so when he ran away, he had this little thing that he flew on. Remember the Never-Ending Story? Remember that movie, The Never-Ending Story? Oh, man. Anyway, kind of like The Never-Ending Story, that movie, where the little boy was flying on the big dragon-looking thing. So he had this little thing that flies, and then something happened, and they fell into the water, and then they got trapped in the water. So then they was trapped down there for 100 years. So 100 years had went by. So in those 100 years, the Fire Nation now decided that they didn't want to be in harmony with the other elements. So they started trying to take over Well, they're not trying. They were taking over, and then they was pretty advanced. They had metal. They had machines and stuff. They was had boats going across the water, powered by the furnace, or metal ships. And when they went to attack one of the cities, it reminded me of the Matrix when Neo had went to the machine city, and then they had the little things that was boring in, and it fell down and it bored down into the center, and then once it got to the middle, all the Sentinels came down. That little machine, they had okay. I'm getting way into the movie now, but I just noticed all those things. I was like, well, dang, this is kind of like the Matrix right here. Like, okay, but they were the only one that was like advanced like that. Everybody else was living like Eskimos, in the four corners of the earth.
It's kind of like maybe how we were on planet Earth, let's say in 1816 or, where everybody else was still a little primitive, and these bigger countries were, more advanced, and so they did just what the fire people did.
Yeah.
They started taking over the world.
They started taking over. And I'm really just giving like a whole bunch of background to the movie because I just thought it was kind of crazy and what was going on, and not crazy, but I'm just like, because we talk about what we talk about, and we give the blessed uprisings, so then when I watch the movie now, it's like a totally different perspective, and I was sitting there thinking,
really, a different perspective from.
because I was like, like when the Airbender came out, I think it was said like 2010, the last Airbender came out. And if you watch the movie, then you would just think about as a boy who had special powers, and the girl who bent water, she had a special power. You know what I'm saying? You just wouldn't think of all the things that's behind it, because they had the moon and the water spirit. But they would live in a fish. And then the earthbenders, they was able to, so when the fire people was, would throw fire at them, they'll raise the earth and they'll block the fire. The girl who was the waterbender, she was the last waterbender in her tribe. You know what I'm saying? So, and she was still learning her skill because she was the last one, and the fire people had took anybody else in her.
Kill everybody else.
Right. So, so she needed a master. She didn't have a master. Anyway, just that when I was watching the movie, I was just thinking, if I wasn't thinking the way that I think, and how would I see this movie? Would I see all these things that I saw be thinking?
Right. Well, as you become, of course, more aware, you are going to see, sometimes that's why I don't really like watching movies with me, because I'm seeing something else and everybody is seeing something else, and I keep hearing, Ma, why you always have to do this? So, but that's just, it's just when you become more aware, and then you are actually comparing it to, now when you see what you see, it's like you're comparing it to either something that's happening on earth, whether spiritually or physically, and it's either going to line up or,
Right.
or not.
Or not.
Yeah. So that's just when you actually becoming aware of everything, because everything means something.
Right.
Every single thing means something.
Right.
Whether it be movie, whether it be story, whether it be dance, whether it be, just talk, poetry, it means something. And it's all real. It's real. So that's when you notice you can't take anything as for granted or for the fact
Right.
that they don't mean anything.
Right.
If
Right.
you walk down the street and trip, it means something. Just so you don't know what it means, so you'll say, oh, and that's it, but it means something. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes, Mom. Yes. But that was the movie. So, of course, the movie was just a condensed version of. It was like I said, the cartoon was like 3 seasons, and season one by itself was 20 episodes. So I'm just like, man, okay, and dang, that ain't the drawn out. And then Big Tina told me, she was like, oh, Kenny used to watch this when he was younger. So it was like a cartoon. So then, anyway. So again, the 7 chakras from the Buddhist that was teaching the young avatar about the chakras. Now, mind you, he didn't know, and he was like, okay, I guess we'll start with the basics. Because he asked him, he said, well, what's the chakras? And then he was like, okay, we'll start from the basics. Okay. So he told him each chakra has a purpose and can be blocked by an emotional muck or mess. I said, okay, I can dig it. Then he said, once you start, you can't stop. So I thought that was kind of,
once you start, you can't stop.
yeah. Yeah. Opening up the chakras. And once you start, you can't stop. You must go all the way through. And I was just like, well,
if you're aware, I mean,
right? Because I was like, that's you taking it right out of my head because he ran away. Well,
but he just said it there. You can get blocked there.
right. That's what I'm. Right, and so that was one of my things. Okay.
You can't go any further.
And that made me write down 3 things. Can you really stop once you start? And if you stop, what it be like at the point when you get stuck? Remember when we talked about in a couple other episodes about being stuck, not getting stuck, or fear. Would fear make you stop?
That's one of the major.
Because that's what he did. He feared and he ran. But he had to come back to it anyway, so that kind of means you can't stop. You can't stop. Yeah. And then my third thing was, will the journey continue until it's complete, no matter how many lifetimes it takes?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it came back to him 100 years later. He was still a boy, but he still had to complete his journey, and he still had to be the avatar, no matter what. So that's what he said. Once you start, you can't stop. So the first chakra is the root chakra. In the cartoon now, it was the earth chakra. Then he said, this chakra deals with survival and is blocked by fear. And then he asked An, in the movie his name was An, what are you afraid of? He told him to face it, surrender, let it go, because it's not real. So, and I was trying to think back when I feel like I thought I was dealing with my root chakra. So like if you was to ask me now, what did that entail of? What does that mean? It was just like, I would say, well, I don't really know. I can't really. But I feel like,
You think you know now?
I just feel like it definitely gives something to think about or to work on that is, I don't want to say concrete. You know what I'm saying? It deals with survival and is blocked by fear. You know what I'm saying? What are you afraid of? Face it, surrender.
Well, some people now, because, when he says survival, if you break that down, that's a whole lot of things.
Right.
And almost each thing that is in that space, fear can block all of it. Fear is really the bad guy. And he goes all the way up the chakra.
Oh, Lord.
He's not getting out of your face.
Out the game ever.
No, he's not out the game. All, even all up here, he's still trying, you know. But you have that chakra is that's your survival. You know, that's what you're gonna use. Work, your job, your kids, your husband, you know,
The house,
relationships
everything.
with everybody that you know, and all of them could be chaotic. So it depends then on how you act. Depends on how then you're looking at your life. If you're aware that all of what's going on, from job to children to everything, all of that is coming before you for you to face.
Or even
Some
your,
people don't think it's something for them to do. That's the doing part of the chakra. It's something you gotta do to put all of these things in a manageable state. You know? So when you're working on that chakra, you're really working, because to me that's the hardest one.
right.
That's the most difficult one.
Because you could be
Because
dealing
you
with,
gotta learn how to change your way of looking at things, and sometimes you're afraid to try to tell people, well, no, you
Yes,
can't,
no.
no. So that makes it. I think that one, we stay in that one for a very long time, because sometimes it just takes time before you realize that the way I'm living, it seems like, okay, I've been living like that. My mom's been living like that. My dad, my aunties, So I didn't see anything wrong with it. I was living like that too. So once you have approached that chakra with the knowledge of what it is, then you have to realize that you have to work on all of that. You just have to work, because it's telling you have to control yourself. You think that they are all creating chaos, right? So you could say, well, it don't have anything to do with me, or well, some of the things I can't get away from. These things are just what they are, But I think that what that is saying, that you have to come up with things and solutions and ways to tell other people when you find out that, we shouldn't be living like this, maybe we can do this and that, to strengthen our family or whatever. When you find all these things out, because if you're starting on a journey and that's where you're starting, then now you become, then again, the word responsible for everything that's going on around you. All of a sudden, you're the one. So that's when you become the one.
Yeah, on your level. Yeah.
You become the one in your space.
Your space.
So you have to manage all of that. And if you can manage all of that, then you can move on.
With your childhood fears and all that
Childhood
stuff,
fears,
traumas,
all of that, you would have to deal with. But sometimes you're not in that mode. You're not really thinking childhood fear unless you really went through something really traumatic.
Right. Okay.
Because that chakra is all about survival.
Right.
We gotta eat. I gotta go to work. It's everything that you need to just live basic life. If you're lucky and you was born rich, then you would have other problems to face. So,
Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. So, again, the root chakra, the Buddha, he called it the earth. It was the earth chakra.
It is everything that goes on earth in that sense.
Right. Ground level.
Ground level.
Right. Right. That's why I like the correlation. Yeah.
Yeah.
The earth and the root chakra. I like that. So the next chakra is the sacral chakra, and it was the water chakra. He said this deals with pleasures and is blocked by guilt. And then he asks on. He said, "What do you blame yourself for?" And then the advice he gave me, he said, "Release all blame and guilt. Accept that these things happen, but do not let them cloud and poison your energy. If you are going to be a positive influence, you have to forgive yourself." Yeah, I thought that was like, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, because okay, he's still going through the elements. Earth, water.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
The water was the sacral, and and even in the movie they was talking about water and its importance of letting
Yeah,
stuff go
water
and
flows.
flows and
Yeah.
energy, so water.
And water to being water time myself. Water is then your emotions. So you have to control that. When you get there, you have to learn to control your emotions. You know, that up and off and being, mad at everything, or being sad about everything, or feeling guilty about something. All of that is, is your emotional body that they're trying to help you to adjust with that chakra, because that too will just knock you out the game. And that's feelings.
Yeah. Let it go.
Yes.
Accept that it's happened, and but you gotta
Uh,
can't hold on to it. Don't let it cloud
Right. And
cloud and poison your energy. Don't let it cloud and poison your
see,
energy.
And sometimes, and not sometimes, most times, um, it it could also be that it's someone that is there as like a block. And 9 out of 10 times it's your partner. Because you can't get your emotions, you can't get hold of your emotions, because this person is forever, has something to say. It's just, so not just that, it's somebody on my job is saying something, or so it's
Yes.
like
Yes.
all over.
All the time.
All the time.
Something.
So then, and it's the kids is getting on your nerves, And it's just, when it comes to that, some people think that that's regular life. Well, if the kid's getting on my nerves, they're getting on my nerves. He is this, and I can't stand this person, that person. All of that has got to go. He is saying, let it go. He's just giving you that simple thing, like, well, let it go. Which, to me, that's very hard to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Which means you might have to let your husband go, or the boyfriend. You can't let the kids go, but then you have to learn then how to manage the kids and have the kids do like they're supposed to be doing, so they are not messing with your
energy and
so,
everything.
with your energy. And your energy can get clouded by just you thinking. It's not just what you do, your thoughts. You might not be lashing out or speaking out, thinking.
But you're thinking it.
You're thinking, man, if I could have, and that's also gonna muddy your energy, So that's why it takes time to clean out those, maybe 1, 2, 3, I say 4. Takes time. You know, when you time you get up here to the throat chakra, you have would have learned a lot. You know, so it helps you some. But every step up that ladder is is very hard. You know, and you have to look at it too because it's like your DNA, and that's programmed DNA. It's not your own
Right, right.
born with DNA, and sometimes you might bring things in with you too, in your DNA, you know. But in that sense, the program of your root chakra, all of that nitty fighting, nothing is good, everything is bad. Can you imagine you trying to get your DNA under control? That's what you're doing. You're trying to fix yourself, you know, physically, you know. So when you go to the water now, you're trying to fix yourself emotionally. You know, that deals with all that emotion, you know. And if you have to get it out your DNA, you know, and if you don't understand even how to approach it, you know,
Yeah, I'm just like, well, because I'm thinking like, whoa, dang, well,
because
because that's deeper.
it is.
That's deeper.
It goes very deep because it goes like right down to your DNA because that's where it is, you know? And if you don't have an understanding still that you can reprogram your DNA, then you'll be working on it, but still not getting the fullness of it, you know? So it takes a lot of learning and you have to seek the knowledge to help you to balance that. I think the physical body is a tough one, and so is the emotional body, which is the water.
So the next one is the solar plexus. And the element for that one is fire. So he said this chakra deals with willpower, but is blocked by shame. What are you ashamed of? Is what he asked on. What are you ashamed of? What are your biggest disappointments in yourself? Release all your letdowns and disappointments. You will never find balance if you deny that part of your life. So he was basically tell him, so because when he asked him that, he thought back to when he ran away. And
Yeah, right.
and he was really disappointed that he did that because he left. Well, in the movie, in the TikTok, that's what he thought went back to. In the movie, he he did have to let go of his shame because when he left for the 100 years and he didn't even realize he was gone for 100 years, he thought he was gone for a little while. And then he went back to the temple where, he was with the Buddha. Everybody was dead and everything like that. So he had to let go of that,
Right.
those feelings right there in order to continue on his journey with
Yeah.
the girl. Yeah.
Yeah, but then when you said that was fire,
Yeah.
solar plexus, yeah, it's the sun,
Yeah.
it's fire. Yeah. And that's when you learn how to say yes. That's when you throw things in the fire. That's when you have to also learn that because then spirit is fire also. So you have to learn how to blaze. Your fire has to blaze or things won't get burned. You know, you could throw things in the furnace and there is not enough or fire, you can't burn out the dross that is within you, you know? So, yeah, fire to, and to keep your fire burning on the inside is hard because, two, because fire is one of them things that is really talked about because now the fire is going to get you past. It's going to get you, once you pass that stage and you are able to understand that, like he said, okay, this is not my fault. I have to burn that. You know? I
Oh,
can't help.
accept all aspects of who you are, even your mistakes. And
Yes.
that last
Yes.
part was
Right.
goes with that.
So that's, you have to throw your mistakes in the fire. And that's when you're burning everything. You're burning out friends, you're burning out anything that you feel is going to hold you back from going where you gotta go. But first, because if you're coming up from there and you have to work on earth and you have to work on water, then your fire will not be burning as high as it takes for you to burn through all these different thoughts then of, well, I didn't do well, I was I didn't go to school, so I can't get a good job, and all these different things. And those things is what keeps your fire burning low, because you start telling yourself that you're not good enough, well, I don't want to do that, I don't want to say that because I don't feel like, that I can.
Right. You can
Start-
say it, or you
yeah,
have
right.
the
You keep
oomph to
downing
say it.
yourself, so which means your fire just keep burning. So in order for you to pick up and become and do, then your fire have to be blazing, and that takes, now you're talking energy, to keep that fire blazing. And you know how things go. 1 minute you up, the next minute you're down. And when you go down, then your fire, your energy goes down. So it takes energy you got to keep throwing wood in that fire for it to blaze. So, because,
Stay hot.
yeah, you have to get to the point that, look, all of that, I can't bother with it. I can't be worried about it, because if I stay worried about it, I will never accomplish anything in my life, because I don't have the oomph, I don't have the drive, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you're
Yeah.
down in yourself. So, your fire important. Because you still have to, because these things would flare up again, and sometimes they're the one dampening your fire, because somebody in family and in life, and you lose your job, or you was going so fine, and then all of a sudden I
Something.
lost my house. Your fire not gonna be blazing, so they connected. They all connected, and it's a task to keep everything aligned.
All right. Yes, ma'am. So the next chakra is the heart chakra, and it was the heart chakra to Buddha. So he says this chakra deals with love and is blocked by grief. Lay all your grief out in front of you. Release all your sadness and loss. Love is a form of energy, and it swarms all around us. And he told him, let the pain flow away. Yeah, and I don't think anybody would have any qualms or anything, difficult to understand when it comes to the heart chakra. You know what I'm saying? The heart, love, we said it in Blessed Uprisings, and we talk about love. Love is the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Love yourself. Love others. You
Yeah,
know,
but it's hard.
it's hard. It definitely is hard.
But sometimes, because you see, since the love, the heart chakra is really just as important as the third eye, because after when you have opened up your heart, you know, which means you have you have worked on that, because the heart chakra, anything past your heart chakra, and you will past your heart chakra, I will say all three of them, the heart then becomes the main chakra. Not so much. Because love is the most powerful energy. Love is the highest frequency. So people say
Oh, Ma, when you say that, okay, so let me tell you, I'm so sorry to break you off. So in the movie, um, okay, so in the movie, the young girl, Katara, she was the waterbender. She's the one that freed An and his little flying thing from the water that they was frozen under. And so she was like, okay, I know, to herself, she was like, okay, he's the Avatar. And so when he got freed, a light shot up, and then the fire, the prince of the fire king, he was in the water and he saw that light come up. So he went to where they were, because he was on the hunt for the Avatar as well, because he couldn't go back home to his father until he brought him back the Avatar, because everybody knew the Avatar wasn't dead. Something just happened to him. So, it was kind of weird. So anyway, so he went to the village, and he, took the Avatar back on a ship. It was gone. So then the waterbender, now she goes to her grandmother, and her grandmother says, she says, Grandma, I think he's the one. So she started telling her and her brother about the story. And then she gave her something and told her to go help the Avatar change heart. Because in the heart is where all wars are won. I was like, ugh.
right, and that's why I say that heart chakra, yes, that is the main chakra of them all.
Yes.
Because yeah, you love is really so powerful, and you see, sometimes, not sometimes, we all started off thinking, okay, love between a man and a woman, love, oh, I love my kids, oh, that's love,
Right.
per se, but uh, no, because love will only do right. Love will only do right. You have to, and sometimes your love has to be a type of, what they say, tough love.
You have to be tough.
Tough, yes, because then when you know better, then you would not love somebody in the way that people think that that's how a relationship should be.
Right.
Because you're not supposed to own anybody. You can't own anybody, you know. Uh, and we think that when you love somebody, then, oh, well, we are supposed to just be like this, do this, and, and be together forever and all that good stuff. But that is not actually love. Love is just is it just is. It just is. And you can use it for practically everything, because it's to me, it's a chakra that you can't even you can describe it.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
love is just
That's-
because when you're walking in love, that's when you actually just being. You're not really worried about, oh, I just lost my job, or somebody just died. So, because you understand, okay, that's okay. Go ahead, go meet your father.
right.
You'll be all right. You know, I lost my job. You go with, oh, I want one door closed, another door
Another one
open.
open.
So you have all the little things that you have come up through that suffering time, cleaning up yourself. So when you get here, you know, because you can't really go up here and settle, you know, if you taken some of the baggages with you. This is the time you can't go past here to get up here. You could get here because everybody can talk. Everybody have knowledge. If you read enough when you were down in your lower chakras coming up, you learn enough. You can talk a good game, you know, but you don't really love anybody. You don't really care about anybody still, you know. So yeah, you could get here.
Yeah, you're not loving. That's like,
You're not loving. You're not caring.
and I hate to
If
talk about
you see-
them. You know,
yeah,
some
if
of
you
them
see
in the
somebody on the
conscious
street and they-
community is like,
yeah, or
okay, but y'all talking, y'all back out over chair, but
but it's not. It's
I
not
can't.
love.
You know, I can't feel. I don't feel you. Yeah.
You don't have to give him anything. Go take the money that you give to him and buy wine. You know, I know if I give him what I'm giving it to him for, he's responsible for himself. I'm responsible for me. If my heart say, give him $1, give him $5, I'm thinking in my purse to find that $5. I don't even care if it's 4 quarters. I'm gonna give it. When I'm done with that, I'm happy. If I didn't
'Cause you
give
did your
him,
part.
I'd be like,
Yeah.
just
Should
should have
I?
give him because maybe he was hungry, or you shouldn't have that thought.
Yeah.
Oh, when you give these people your money, money that doesn't flow because of what they, you know. At first I'm like, it might be true, but then if you are at that point of really in your heart, nothing.
It doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah. Cause then it's untrue.
Yeah.
It's untrue because everything is flowing. If it's really from the
If
heart,
it's from the heart.
everything is flowing. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
no matter what that person does with it. You know, because that's not the part for you to control. Your part, you did your part, which
Your
was
part.
to give it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So love is like that. And then when you're in that space, just like the airbender, then he realized that he has something also to do for humanity. Your heart chakra can be open, really wide open, and you looking at the world and you say, well, my house is clean. Oh, I could pay my mortgage. You know, everybody, I love people and all, but, hey, everybody got to this for themselves, and everybody got to that for themselves. Yeah, you love, but to an extent.
Right. There's an
To an
extent.
extent, because when you get there, you have to understand that now, really, you're the avatar. You're the one. Because everybody is the one. The one is not a special person per se. But we are all the one. But the one is the one that would step forward. He has,
First,
yes, he has, his heart is open to humanity.
Right.
And in the teaching, they say all it takes is one. Jesus was one person. I don't care who say Jesus doesn't exist. That's okay.
And you know what?
If he don't exist,
Because
read your Bible, because I I think we all started there, and if not reading his story, we would
We
not
wouldn't
have, we would
be able
not
to
have
build onto
known
that,
that the
or
Christ consciousness is totally real. It is real because with the Christ consciousness, that's when you begin your last journey. Just like how when Jesus became Christ, he started his journey to ascend. You can't, if you don't get past this heart,
yeah, it
you
ain't
know, in no
happening.
ascension, everybody could talk about ascension.
It
You're
ain't
too
happening.
heavy. Where you saw you're ascending? You got to become light. And we could say love and light. And oh, love and light. But,
He said, "Where you going, Mom?"
yeah, well, you ain't going nowhere. Folks want to still want to get a free ticket. And they said they don't, oh, we don't believe in Jesus. Oh, Jesus this, that. I really don't care about all of that. All in a sense, at one point I was saying, well, yeah, they said there wasn't a J in the Hebrew language. And Jesus couldn't be this because of that and whatever. But if you sit down and read his story,
Yeah. At the end of the
oh
day,
my God.
I don't know if I'm saying the right thing, but to me, as you say that, made me think, well, somebody did it. It might not have been Jesus, they just gave him that name, but
That's
somebody
the
did
whole
it.
point. Common sense ought to tell you. I read that, and when I read his life story, I'm like, I want to be that. What did you say? I and my father are one. Now it's I and my father and my mother. You know what I'm saying? So everything is not there truly, but you can do a lot with it because he told you the things he did, you can do also. So if you even reach for that, you'll be running up them chakras.
You're on your
You're
way.
on your way up them chakras. Whoa, what did he say? He did some stuff. Even if it's a story, it only takes a story. The story is enough. You don't have to be real. Take his story and run with it.
Right, run with that, yeah. Don't attach the face to it. Just like, somebody had to do it.
So that's a hard chakra.
Yes, ma'am. And so the next chakra, of course, is the throat chakra. The Buddha said sound chakra. He said this deals with truth and is blocked by lies that we tell ourselves. What lies are you holding on to? Well, I wrote this down because he didn't ask on a question, but it was just like, what lies are you holding on to fit your narrative or, make you feel or see whatever it is that you're seeing? Then he told on to release your denial and the lies you tell yourself about who you really are. Yeah. Yeah.
That point, that's when the self-doubt, self-doubt comes through. You know, in a sense, who you are. Doubting.
Oh, he was doubting for real.
Yeah, I know who I am, and I know I have the powers, and I know this and that. But something in the back of your head is still telling you that's too big for you. That's not for you. It's okay, but I don't think I could do that. So you will start making yourself small by talking small to yourself. And once you start talking small to yourself, then
It's
you
a done
can't
deal.
become the avatar, well, not even the avatar, you can't become the one for humanity, which is what you're really supposed to do. Each and every one of us came here with that responsibility. There's no getting away from it. Some of us not making it, but that is why you're here, They say Earth is a schoolroom, and it definitely is for those. I guess it's like school now. Some people go to school, go to college, go to high school. Some people will not finish high school. So, it's the same thing.
Right.
So in that sense, yeah, your throat chakra also is. I say that's like a miracle chakra.
Mm.
That's a miracle chakra because sound, wood, sound
Mm-hmm.
could
Power.
change sound power. Hitler talked his whole nation into killing millions of people, right? And I'm sure the same thing went through with slavery. Somebody said, well, okay, they shouldn't read, they shouldn't this, and everybody just went along with it, And so words that you speak, they they come alive, you know?
Move the masses.
Word, yes, word can gather the masses and break down this whole thing. You know, what did Martin Luther King do? He spoke. All he did. Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, words will light up this whole place. It's a miracle sound. And once you are given that chakra and that ability to speak, because look at where the heart is from the chakra,
Right there.
which means you really feel what you feel for the masses. You know,
Tupac.
Tupac, you know. So that is uh, just that miracle. It can.
Miracle chakra.
It is for me. Words are powerful.
Okay, so the next one is the third eye chakra, called the light chakra. He said, this chakra deals with insight, but is blocked by illusion. The greatest illusion of this world is the illusion of separation. Release all illusion within yourself. Everything is connected. And then, like the word collective consciousness, was at the bottom of, of the screen when I was looking. I was like,
Collective function. Yeah.
yeah, the greatest illusion of this world is the illusion of separation. And in the movie, what did he say? I think he was fighting with the firebender, the prince, because all the fire people seemed like they was able to bend fire, like everybody. So he was fighting the prince, and the girl, Katana, the waterbender, she came and helped him out and kind of froze him in some water. And so when he was leaving, he was like, we could all be friends. We supposed to be friends.
Who was saying that?
The Avatar, he said that to the firebender. He said that to the firebender. He had also said it to the Earth people when he went to go help them and let them know that, hey, you guys don't have to let the fire people, y'all are strong too, is basically what he told them. And then he was like, we can all work. So then, he was bending the air, they was throwing the earth, she throwing the water. I said, oh, okay. But yeah, collective consciousness. Yeah, greatest illusion is separation.
And that separation, is basically the first separation. And the first separation for humanity is that we have separated ourselves from God. We haven't done it purposely
Intentionally.
ourselves, but that is how we were taught. This is how we learn. But God is up here, over there, somewhere, So that brought separation. And that was an on-purpose
Thing.
thing. Was an on-purpose situation. I mean, some power, and I hate to give it even power, but it's there. Decided, well, this is how we would pull the blinders over humanity. They must not know that they themselves are God. They must not know that God is not separated from them. You're God because she's just standing up here and walking around.
Right.
Not that you did anything fantastic, but you are part and parcel of who God is. And he is definitely waiting till he's going to leave you out there like Job until you come to your senses, But that's the first separation, and that was something that it really, really caused. That is the worst thing that ever happened to mankind. He forgot who he truly is. He forgot that he's a divine being, divine masculine, divine feminine, that we are not just bodies moving around here trying to get something to eat and drink and get a house. So that separation, we have to, that is what I think we have to work on more so than anything else. We are not separated. We are not God. We are. We are gods and goddesses, and I've left God and goddesses behind. We are divine beings, and once you claim that, then you understand where your alliance is, is when you want to use that free will. We were told that we have free will to do and be anything we want. And we sure making a mess of our free will.
Okay.
Because nobody's really happy.
Make sure you might. Okay.
Nobody's truly happy. Who wants to just be like this? Who wants to get up and go to work every day? Put your hands up. No.
No, that's right. Shoot.
You don't mind doing stuff. You don't mind working.
Right.
And we love what we're doing because we're creative. God creates. That's all he do. He happy. He and she. The mother is the creator of everything. The father just do what he do. But she's the creator, really. She loves what she does.
Right.
And I can't wait until she wake up fully. Because,
she gonna be mad.
That was the other thing they did. They beat her down and put her to sleep, boy. And if we don't start talking about her and to give her the energy,
Strength.
yes, to wake up, who cares about the children more than the mother? She is caretaker for the children, but we just stuck on what they gave us. Father God, every day, Father God. Look at the fathers. Most of the fathers, we got some fathers that care about their children like that, but most fathers don't.
I think it's a lot of fathers that.
There's a lot of fathers that do. There's a lot of fathers that do, and there are some mothers that don't care about their kids either. But then you can see where life and the things in life brings that to be so. But in general, mothers have it.
Right.
They're the ones that, did the 9 months thing and brought them here. So, yeah, she would feel a little bit more so. I think fathers love their kids, of course. Some of them. But I think that the whole relationship the male and female relationship to begin with, even before the child came in the picture, is just it's just off. Everybody is like just off, crazy, you know. So so now we have all of this. It's like we're living in still with all the knowledge and everything, but still living down in
Right.
the full chakra.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So you have your few, light workers, star seeds, but everybody has work to do to come to a place where we gotta understand that we all have to bring that collective consciousness. A lot of the star seed, the light workers, the whoever bend in the air and the water and the sea and the whatever. It's you can tell it's not a one consciousness as yet. Everybody's conscious, but they're conscious on their own and in their own little
Right.
part. They're conscious
Right.
with their own little tribe and
Right.
and all these things. So what is that going to do for humanity? Pretty much not much.
Not much.
No, we have not reached a mass consciousness, so things can really just
Level up.
yeah. So you know, we were at throat chakra or where?
Yes, that
Third
was yep, that was third eye. And now we're at the crown. And so the crown chakra, the Buddha called it the thought chakra. He said this chakra deals with pure cosmic energy, but is blocked by earthly attachments. He told on to meditate. What attaches you to this world? Release all your earthly attachments. Let go of all you've grown to love. Learn to let go, or you cannot experience the full cosmic energy. He said many people cannot surrender their earthly attachment. Letting go does not mean it disappears. And he said, when you let it go, when you finally let it go, you will have control and be aware of all your actions.
All things. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the meditate thing. Oh, and so the meditate thing was, so in the cartoon, he did. He meditated, and he saw his higher self. In the movie, he was an airbender. In the movie, he only learned to bend water, but and he was talking to. He had a spirit guide. It was a dragon spirit, and he had to meditate for like, I don't know how long he sat there. It was like a whole fight scene going on, and he just had to sit there so he could meditate to get to the spirit dragon, so he could tell him how to beat the fire people. And I was just bringing that up because the meditation part. Meditate on what attaches you to the world. Let it go, or you won't be able to basically ascend or reach your higher self. Okay.
That is, it is so true. That is just truth right there, because I think that one is difficult. I think that one brings up fear. That's when fear jumps right back up into the face. It's like, okay, so do I have to give up everything?
Oh, and he was like that too, because in the cartoon, he had liked the girl. And so he was like, what? I got to give up Kitana? Just 2 chakras ago, you told me I had to love. He said, and now you're telling me I have to let it go. And he was like, well, you got to let it go. Oh, and so then in the movie, Hegor, a good attachment one. So in the movie, Kitara and her brother went on to where the waterbenders were that could teach the sister. So there, the moon and the water spirit, that's where that energy was hidden. You know, it was hidden in that city amongst those villagers. So the moon and the water spirit was two fish. You know, you see the energy in them. They would just swim around, this, that, and the other. So when they got to the city, the king had a daughter, and when the daughter was born, she did not. She didn't. I think maybe she was like died or something, and so he put her in the water, and so the moon spirit gave her life. So then she came alive. So anyway, but that was just extra story. So when they got there now, as soon as the brother saw the princess, loved her, loving her, and so he was like, so when the fire people was coming, he was like, oh, I'll be her personal guard, I'll go with her, or whatever. And he was like literally everywhere she went, even left his sister and aunt to fight the fire dude, because he rode off with the princess. Like, well, damn. You see what I'm saying?
That was a prime example right
Prime
there.
example. So now let me tell you how it got real. So the firebender, one of the generals, he read the scrolls, and he knew that the moon and the water spirit, that's where it was hidden in that city. So he found the pond. He captured one of the fish, and the uncle now was trying to tell him, no, don't do it. It's just some things that you just don't mess with, and that's one of them. And mind you now, he was the brothers of the king. So he was the prince's uncle. And so, but he was telling the fire general, he was like, no, man, I don't think you should do it. It's just some things you don't mess with. So then he was like, nah, man, the fire people, we gonna be number one. So he killed the fish. So when he killed the fish, the girl fell out. On felt it. He was like, dang. And I think the waterbender person, the Katara, she felt it too. So then, it was a kind of shift, whatever, because the moon spirit was dead. So at that moment, so when the girl got back up, she realized what her purpose in life was. So then she had to go back in the water and give the life back to the fish in order for balance to come back in. And the son was like, the brother was like, no, are you sure? And then she was like, it's my purpose. She said, I'm scared, but don't make me more scared, but I gotta go do it. And she went to go do it. I was like, oh, ain't that something? Ain't that something?
I think that was really a good example of giving everything up, and understanding that you have a greater purpose. And we looking at it might say, oh, well, she just went ahead and sacrificed herself for humanity or whatever the case may be, or to achieve balance on the earth or whatever, but she knew within herself.
Yeah.
She really she wasn't dying because, there is no death. There is transition. There is ascension. So you're going someplace else. You're just gonna not be on earth. But you're not gonna die, and maybe you might even come back to earth if you love earth so much. You may come here and be someone that will actually help again, because earth has not reached where she's supposed to be at, So yeah, you have to give up things. You
Yeah.
have to give it up
Yeah.
because and look at him. If he was asked to do something like that, he would not have done it.
He probably wouldn't have done
He
it.
wouldn't have done it. Not with her standing right. Am I gonna leave her? No. You know. So the giving up part, yeah, and that's what's not happening on planet Earth right now. Oh no. You know, everybody's trying to get more. Nobody's trying to give up anything. Everybody's trying to get more. So then it's like, so who's gonna who? Because every step up the ladder there is something to do. And it's never easy. It's not anything, any one of the chakras that you jump on is not an easy thing. They all
No.
take years to be accomplished. You know, and there you could stay there for a long time till you die. You could make it up here and still don't make the cut because you didn't want to give up anything. You know, you just felt like, well, I don't feel why I have to do that. I work so hard.
Yo, you should get knocked way back down because if you hit the heart and then you make it up here and then you tell me something you can't give it up, then you was faking the funk.
No, they would sit because they would. Well, I do love everybody. I love everybody. I would give away any, this and that and that. But you see, when you giving, if somebody don't have a phone and I say, you know what, I'm gonna give you my phone. Oh, you need some money, I'll give you some money. Very different when it comes to I'll give you my life or I'll give you, you know what I'm saying? Then it becomes so
Oh, okay.
personal.
Right.
Different
Oh,
in the
yeah, so
giving.
true. Because we way past possession at this point.
Yes, so now
Is you
it's a
or
sacrifice. You still we into the Jesus story. We into the Christ. In order for you to become the Christ and become
oh,
the
because Jesus had
one
to he could have saved
become
himself.
Buddha. Yeah, oh yeah, he didn't have to. You know what
He
I'm
ain't have
saying?
to.
To become a Buddha, to become the Christ, to become anything higher than your crown chakra. Because now you got the crown, but you're not gonna wear it down here. You're gonna wear it someplace else.
Somewhere else, yeah.
You know, so to me, I think if we have learned what we needed to learn coming all the way up the chakra, some of us we get up there, but we didn't get it all together because fear is going to meet you up here too. Because fear and you facing death, I don't care who
Right,
that is
because
something for you
that's
to
it.
really balance because well, you're gonna die because now you're giving up everything. Now the main thing you gotta give up is your life.
Is your life.
You gotta get that up, and we still say that because I know I said it, I'm like, I think Jesus already did that. I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? You say these things
Right.
when it faces you and it's like, well, you know, and I'm like, no, I think this time we don't have to do that. I think, that's already done. So, we just have to do something else, I guess, or die. But that's how you're feeling at the time.
Right.
You know?
Because that's what I'm looking like.
That's what you're telling
Well,
yourself. You're like,
kind of not how it goes.
no, I don't see why. And I think maybe that's where it came from that Jesus died already for us, for our sins.
Oh, so we don't have to do it.
We don't have to do it. But to me, that's a bunch of, it could be true, but if you look in the world, it ain't true.
It ain't true.
Because if people don't reach to that crown chakra and become that collective consciousness, And everybody wants to ascend. You know what I'm saying? Everybody
Ooh,
wants to ascend.
everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die.
You know, so that's
That's
what
it.
that is right there. You know, and it's a hard one. It's a hard one because you feel like if you back down in your root chakra,
Yeah.
you know, and that's another thing. You have to become strong enough to be able to go up and down the ladder without creating, if you want to call it sin, you know. You know, when you're that high, you can go up and down.
Oh, I was just about to ask. So you can go up and down? Oh, that's probably you will be control and be aware of all your actions and emotions. Okay. So you can go up and
So you
down.
can go up and down the ladder. Yeah, that's our chakras.
Yeah. So yep. So those were the seven chakras, and those were the Buddhist, analogies. Well, not I don't
Yeah.
want to say analogies, but the four elements, and then light and thought. It was the four elements: light and thought,
Yeah.
sound, light, and thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are the big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought so.
So, yeah, it's I didn't really ever go through the chakras like that. Like myself, thinking about it.
Right.
Because I always
But
felt like, okay, chakras.
but in some shape, form, or fashion, you conquered these levels,
Yeah, yes, I know those.
and I think you got to.
Hmm?
You have to.
You have to,
You have to.
because, you know, you be back here still trying to conquer them. There's still no death. Soul is soul, the spirit is spirit. Spirit gonna come, line up like all the other spirits lining up to get into our body, to come here and finish their work. Everybody, I don't care how good or how bad. Some of us, when we come back, we just love doing bad things. We just hooked on that, And I just, the love is just overwhelming that we get another chance anyway, So I would say it's probably about time that we go more chances. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, what you saying? No more chances.
Yes. That's being because really, because I mean, sometimes I ask myself, we've been going through this. Yeah. Is it that this is just how Earth is supposed to be?
I was just about to say that, so I'm just like,
It's
well,
we keep saying,
if
yeah,
we,
it's a
if we,
school, and the school just never ends.
right? That's
This
what
is
I was
where
just
people
thinking. Well,
come.
dang.
Yes, that's all that's the
Earth is
only
a
way I
hangout
can.
spot.
That's the only way I can rationalize it because it seems like we're not really doing it for Earth. It seems like at the end of the day, you're doing it to yourself for yourself. So you can just leave here and not have to come back.
Not have
and
to come
keep
back
doing this
because
all
this
over
is
again. Because it seems
here.
like this is going to be
This is here. This is where you got to come to get it right. No matter how many times you got to come,
Yes.
you got to come to Earth to get it right.
Yeah.
So you don't
So, I don't know. I'm sure maybe somebody else have the answer somewhere in the world, to that feeling, that because man, this earth lived and died maybe thousands of times. You know what I'm saying? And why it is we can't get it right? Maybe it's not supposed to be right.
Right.
It's
Right.
supposed to be what it is, and every time a soul comes here, you're gonna have to figure it out.
The soul got to get right,
Soul gotta get right.
not the Earth. Or
Not the earth.
yeah,
See?
the soul.
The soul. The soul gotta get right. So everything is put here for you to have that choice to do it or not. You know? So namaste. And this is my new mudra. Even though I use it all the time, it's funny. I use the mudra, this, it's here, blessed. But I have adopted this mudra as my own. Don't shake my hand.
Oh, okay.
You know, greet, because for me, it just dawned on me one day and I say, okay, this is the symbol really for balance.
Okay.
Masculine, feminine, come together, one, balance,
Oh, okay.
So just thought I'd say that. Just share it.
I like it. I can dig it.
Yes.
So we're gonna bless the love. Bless it, love.
And this is, to everybody, that everybody would be balanced within themselves and balance those chakras so you can walk up and down that ladder and be happy. It's like you got to end up being happy in this world for some, you just have to.
Right.
And sometimes when we look at the chaos in the world, we think that, oh my God, this world is just really awful. But it's perspective again, because you could be here and you just think this world is great. Everything is real. The birds, the trees, the water, everything. So I think we still have that part of life to appreciate, to make us feel that, oh my God, there is something left, in the world. So we give thanks for that.
Give thanks. And on that note, we'd like to wish our family, our tribe, our community, blessed uprising. Wish you love, peace, joy, and abundance. Now go and conquer your day. Blessed love.